specifically about Overwatch tutorials. Not necessarily like a long, in-depth type of thing, but just a rundown of what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, how you play characters, stuff like that. And a big issue that comes up a lot is when you're playing support. Now, you'll see your team not work together in the slightest. Not at all. They will not regroup when the majority of their characters are dead, of the team being down. They will go straight into the fight. They will try and fight 5 people at the same time, and they will die immediately. And not even knowing where the rest of his team is, that person will say, "Why ain't I getting any heals?" And they'll call out to the healer for heals constantly because they just can't understand. See, some people are too stupid to play a team-based game. They think they're playing Call of Duty, and then they look at their KD, and then they're like, "Well, I've got all this damage. What's the deal?" But they're not looking at the amount of deaths that they have. They've died 3 more times than the amount of kills that they've gotten, which tells them one thing, that they're not staying alive very long. And one thing you can't do when you're a healer is heal dead people. So your best tip as a healer is to recognize who's a moron and who's not a moron. Case example, let's look at some matches. Because I just played one before this one, and then I played another one where we lost just as equally as bad. But it made no difference if I did more healing and tried to do less DPS, or tried to move payload more so than that. Um, I've gotten endorsements out the ass. I am at what, level 4? I was at level 4, now I'm at level 3. And as a support character, that's most of where those endorsements come from. But if you look at if you look at some of these game reports, look at the amount of elims on the rest of my team. Look at the amount of deaths on the rest of my team. Look at the enemy, look at the opposing team. 50 eliminations. You cannot in no matter what you do, unless that match goes on forever, and this match did not take long, you will not get 50 elims with D.Va, 41 elims with Ashe, and only die 4 times. Meanwhile, one of these people got 15 elims and 19 deaths. 11. Well, that's me, but, I'm playing healer. So what does this say? This says that even if they're working together, they might suck at this game really bad. They might be really dog shit at the fucking game, and they're just not getting the kills. They don't have aim. They don't have good game sense. They're not working together. There's a lot of different reasons. All you have to know is that when your heals are, playing Moira, that's a hybrid character, you're gonna do some damage and some healing. It's never gonna be a lot of healing, and it's never gonna be a lot of damage, unless you get really lucky with those shadow orbs or whatever the fuck they're called. But even then, you're not going to get credit for that because you're going to look at your assists, and that's probably entirely going to be the deaths that you get from the Shadow Ball that's going to be your assists. Same thing with Kiriko, 21 assists, but she only has 2 eliminations because those are all mostly assists. Whereas you look at their healers, one of them is doing less healing than the other healer on my team. So why is it that someone on my team had to do over 3,000 more healing, and this team doesn't even recognize that I'm playing with, but they're complaining to me, and they want me to match that number. So they want there to be, uh, you know, over 40,000 healing compared to their 31,000 healing. Why is that amount of healing necessary? Because you're getting your ass kicked. You're just getting destroyed. Like you're just dying before anyone can heal you. Now, if you look at a different match, this is the one where I specifically focused on healing just so that we wouldn't run into this problem according to the team, quote unquote. And look at what we have. I have uh, 700 short of the other healer, more damage, one more elimination, just as many deaths, less deaths than the tank, and one of the DPSs. But look at how many limbs they have compared to the other team. Look at how much damage they've done compared to the other team. They can't follow through, right? So, what did me being in range of healing do for that team? It did nothing. They're still trash. They still can't play the game. They're still going to lose. So it's a lot of different numbers you have to look at. Maybe there's a chart somewhere. But in the end, it's really going to come down to, well, you can't listen to anything says because they're morons. 9 out of 10 times, if you're on a good team, 9.5 times, like 99% of the time, if you're on a good team, everyone's going to do what they're supposed to, and everyone's going to recognize that they're doing what they're supposed to. And even the person who's not up to snuff is going to know that it's them. Because they're just going to say that, oh, I got sniped, I got fucked up, you know what I mean? They'll call out their things that are happening. Maybe this Sombra's coming up behind me and fucking me in the ass, and there's nothing I can do about it. But they'll call that out in team chat if it's a specific problem. There is no specific problem. This is a overall problem. The team's trash. Like they're not getting the kills. They're not pushing. They're just not securing anything. They're not playing the game. And that's all you need to know about that. Um, level 246. If I didn't know how to play Moira at this point, you'd have to be a goddamn moron. But, the results speak for themselves. You can't be a player and win like 80% of your games. You can't be a bad player and win 80% of your games like that. You'd have to get carried pretty goddamn hard. You also wouldn't have that 3 or 4 or 5 next to your name right there. That's your commendation. Like your fucking, someone says, hey, you did a good job. They vote for you and they give you that. And you can only do that for 2 people on a team per match. So that means enough people voted for me to say that I did a good job playing healer for them to have that at 3, and then sometimes it goes up to 4, and sometimes it drops down to 3, 4, yada yada. But you look at any specifics, game reports. Let's look at how trash these people are.
Welcome to Rialto. Ready for battle.
for the part.
Now see if you can tell what's going on right here. What's that thing called? What's this big thing moving there? What's that called? That's called the payload. You win the game by making this not move. Where's our tank at? Nowhere near the fucking payload. Do you know why she's not anywhere near the fucking payload? Because DPS is hiding behind her. I'm trying to heal. I'm trying to kill anyone I can while healing. This is a DPS in one of the most visible fucking spots possible, eating all the gunfire coming at them possible, despite knowing that all of his shots are going to be nullified by Diva's bullshit right here. But yet, she's still shooting directly into that beam. Where's the other one? Well, that's the other healer. She's kinda in cover there. We don't know where the other DPS is, to be honest. Probably fucking dead. Yep, over here. Do we know what happened to this DPS? Well, immediately everyone is just getting destroyed, not moving, just having to move back because they're so bad. They haven't gotten one kill. Literally the entire team is just shoving a dick inside the opposing team. And there's nothing being done about it. This is the person who died and it was running to get back on his way. He is just running backwards the whole time. They are still moving the payload. Is tank dead? Yep. Tank died immediately. Hasn't even taken a, like, you know, a barrage of bullets, but putting shield up already. Now the shield's back up. Still not really getting shot at a lot. Getting hit by Moira. And we're trying to figure out how Soldier fucking died. Well, that's not right. I bet you he gets hit by Hanzo. Hanzo couldn't be more visible right there. Like, just... What the fuck happened to him? Jesus Christ. Healing him, despite the fact that he has no fucking damage to him at the moment. Meanwhile, Tank is right there. How does she have half her fucking life? She just respawned. Now she's getting healed, right? Boy, he just ate, like, missiles. That's crazy. Must have just stood perfectly still and fucking... At this point, you can look at the percentages. Um, Tank is garbage. McCree, Cassidy, whatever the fuck you call him, garbage. Uh, I think all heals are dead. No, they're not. They're not in healing range. She's dead immediately. Yep, just getting sniped. Like, right. Look, she knows her healers are back here because they can't just step out and, like, you know, start like assaulting people and healing. God willing, wherever the tank wants to go. So they're doing the right thing by taking cover. Meanwhile, tank walks up to the sniper and says, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but my head is my weak point." Takes 2 shots to the brain. Dead instantly.
Ready for battle.
That's what you're dealing with sometimes, and you got to just recognize it. So, that's the end of that lesson. Next time, um, maybe a character specific type of guide I'll line up. I think that would be fun to go over. Peace out.